Come to me. Come to me. I've never shared my secret with any soul.
You've had these spells since childhood. Tell me what you can from the beginning.
Get flicked. Welcome to Flick the Script Podcast, episode 10. My name is Derek Mitchell. Thank you all for tuning in. How are you doing today? Just want to go ahead and give a shout out to all the new listeners. If you're a new listener, I just want to say welcome. I thank you. Of course, shout out to my older listeners as well. I appreciate all of you for listening. This is what I enjoy doing, so I appreciate you all for being here, taking your time to listen to this. Today, what movie are we going to talk about? The movie today we're going to talk about is Nosferatu, based on the 1920s version of the same name by F.W. Murnau. But this one that just came out recently, we have 2 hours and 12 minutes on the duration, directed by Robert Eggers, starring Bill Skarsgård, Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin, Willem Dafoe, and of course, many other talented actresses and actors as well. Now let's get into it. What is Nosferatu about? Nosferatu is based in the 1830s, and it's based on an estate agent named Thomas, and Thomas has a job to do. Thomas has a job of traveling to Transylvania to meet with a potential client. Well, I won't say potential, I'll say actual client. He has to go meet with the actual client, and he's a little curious as to who his client is, and he's also wondering, well, why isn't this client coming to us? Why do we have to go to this client? And his boss basically tells him, hey, it's a special client. This one's special. So Thomas asks, well, who is this client? And it turns out to be Count Orlok. And while he's, traveling to Transylvania to meet with Count Orlok, his wife, Ellen, is staying back with their friends. And while this is all taking place, Ellen is experiencing a lot of strange disturbances. She's having a lot of nightmares and a lot of hallucinations, and she's just not feeling very well while Thomas is away. And of course, Thomas, once he arrives at the Orlok destination, he just finds the whole situation quite odd, and he's sort of taken into like a trance sort of state as well, and he's not feeling too well. And it's based on the original, as I said before, it's based on the original F.W. Murnau's 1920s version of the same name, the silent film of Nosferatu, which is also Dracula, the other name. And with this one, I found it I wouldn't say it's a horror movie. I wouldn't call this like a horror movie. I know it's categorized as a horror movie, but I wouldn't call it that. It's more like I would say more like a thriller. It's more like a thriller piece, a historic thriller, I guess you could say. Horror is not too far off, but I just, it's not really one of those movies that's going to make you jump, or at least not jump too much, or you're not going to be scared, for those who get scared when they watch, scary movies. This one's not going to have you feeling that way once you leave the theater, but it definitely has a lot of, I guess, scenes that maybe stuck in your head where you're like, whoa, that was interesting to see. You know what I mean? It's one of those type of movies. it's always good to see Willem Dafoe. He did a great job in the movie, of course. And also, one of the main characters, Ellen, which is played by Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp, she did a fantastic job in the movie. And it was good to see her, in this role. And overall, the acting was phenomenal. Great acting. The cinematography, the visuals, everything, it was great. I enjoyed a lot of the shots. The shots were great. So if you're somebody who pays attention to that kind of stuff, you're going to enjoy that. The visuals were really good. I like that they didn't overdo it with showing Nosferatu. They kind of showed him, like, I guess, if I could say, like, a good amount. Kind of left him as kind of like a mystery at the same time. But you knew he was there, But if you're looking forward to seeing this movie, I say go for it. It's one of those ones that's definitely worth checking out. I enjoyed seeing this movie. All I can say is, if you're familiar with the original Nosferatu and you enjoy the original, I feel like you're gonna enjoy this one. Because a lot of times, as I was watching this, it felt like I was watching an original silent film, and I thought that was pretty cool, like a cool touch. I'm not too familiar with Robert Eggers. I started, reading more about him and his work, and I think I'm gonna start, checking for his stuff more, because I like his style of the historic. It's called historic horror, you say. So I like his style. Robert Eggers, he's a good director. I look forward to seeing more of his stuff in the future. If I have to rate Nosferatu on a scale of 1 to 10, what would I give it? I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8 because it's one of those ones that, like I said, I enjoyed the visuals. I enjoyed the story. It was very creative. It's one of those ones that I will be watching again. You may be wanting to see this one again after you leave the theaters. It's one of those type of movies. So it's definitely worth checking out. Once again, this is Nosferatu. This is Flick the Script Podcast, episode 10. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in next time for the next episode. I'll see you then.